Welcome, everybody. Welcome to those of you in the room and to those online. Welcome to the annual conference of the Petrie-Flom Center for Health Law, Policy, Biotechnology, and Bioethics at Harvard Law School. My name is Susannah Baruch. I'm the executive director of Petrie-Flom, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year in 2025. And I am delighted that this day has come. We have an incredible group of scholars who have gathered for this year's conference and writers' workshop on law, healthcare, and the aging brain and body. A few notes from me before I let Professor Glenn Cohen really open the day. We are very grateful to the Oswald D.N. Kamen Fund at Harvard University for support for this conference. And I am very grateful, we all are very grateful to the Petrie-Flom team, Laura Chong, Erin Lynch, and Lisa Gorelick, who make this all happen with unfailing good humor. I hope you'll check out the Petrie-Flom website and our blog, Bill of Health, and subscribe to our newsletter. So with that, I want to invite Professor Glenn Cohen, the James A. Attwood and Leslie Williams Professor of Law and Deputy Dean here at Harvard Law School, to open the day.
Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad that you're all here. I wish I was with you, and welcome to everybody in the online world. It's my pleasure to introduce two of my co-editors, Nina Cohn, the David M. Levy Professor of Law, Syracuse University, and a distinguished scholar in elder law at the Solomon Center for Health Law Policy and Politics at Yale University, Francis X. Shen, Professor of Law at the University of Minnesota, a member of Harvard Medical School's Center for Bioethics, the founding director of the Dana Foundation, Career Network, and Neuroscience and Society, as well as being a former Petrie-Flom Senior Fellow on our project on law and applied neuroscience. And you've already heard from Susannah Baruch, our executive director of Petrie-Flom. So a few brief words on why we chose this topic. People around the world, of course, are living much longer. Our healthcare system
I think I'm going to jump in. Glenn, I am fortunate that we shared our notes, so I'm going to do my best to channel you in talking about why we picked this topic. We know that our healthcare systems and the social safety net is strained, facing growing costs, as our family caregivers, excuse me, who find themselves caring for multiple generations, and patients have increased complexity as they experience longer lifespans. We felt that our current legal policy and regulatory approaches seemed poorly matched to these trends. However, we are also seeing and experiencing new scientific understandings of the aging brain and body. And our real hope for today and for this book is that we can all ground ourselves in this new emerging knowledge to contribute innovative thinking and scholarship about how law might apply already or might potentially need to adjust in a world of increased longevity. So with that, I am going to turn it over to our co-editors, Nina and Francis, for some words of introduction as well.
Well, I am just so delighted to see you all here today. You know, when we envisioned this conference, our goal was to bring together a group of creative thinkers and doers to help us think about the issues that are confronting us in a world where, you know, people live longer, often with more disability, and yet our social safety net programs designed to support this are under increased financial and political pressure. And what we really wanted to do was assemble a group who could think about how new scientific understandings about aging and new evidence from the social sciences and experience about what works, what doesn't, what might not, could inform these challenges going forward. And to suggest, you know, how do we draw on what's being learned to shape policy, to shape law, to shape practice going forward. And as I've read through your drafts, and I realize these are early drafts, and this is very much a writer's workshop, but as I read through your drafts, it struck me that we had done that there is some really creative thinking going on, drawing on what we're learning, and I'm just so excited to have you all here and to discuss your thoughts.
Yeah, I'll just echo, thanks for being here. It's nice to see interdisciplinary work, even though we don't always get a chance to come together. Just a couple quick observations from the papers. In parallel to all of these demographic changes are these amazing scientific discoveries, technological innovations, and I think the papers offer a range of views. Is this really going to help to address the problem? Is it a false hope, or at worst, is it going to exacerbate the issue? And of course, those big ifs depend a lot on the regulatory space, which is at the core of today. And I'm just going to pick out 3 of the many things that I saw in the papers of some of these new nuggets that are happening. One, of course, is the role of AI. Second is the role of, digital, at-home, portable, but these new types of technologies. And third, and this is because it's a pet area of mine, it's just this new neuroscience knowledge. We move from the century of the body to the century of the brain, and frustratingly, we learn a lot more about diagnosis and early intervention, but we don't have cures, and I think that's really at core a lot of the discussion as well. So can't wait for the day, and that's all I have to say.
Wonderful. 2 last notes. After panel 1, folks in the room, we will be doing a group photo and panels and photos of each panel, so please don't take your break until after we've taken the photos. And Jelaine Arias is unable to be here to present her paper, which is entitled How Alzheimer's Disease Exposes Gaps in Anti-Discrimination Protections Within Employment, but she is watching and welcomes feedback on the draft after the conference. So with that, I want to thank you all again. We will leave this to Nina and invite panel 1 to come up to the podium.